Good morning, and welcome to our Friday learning of Rashi. We're now in Parshat Ki Tavo, and we're going to be in the fifth aliyah, the fifth section. If you're following along, it's chapter 27, verse 12, and we're looking at the blessings and the curses. So just before the people go into the land of Israel, Moses arranges the tribes on two mountains, and then a series of blessings and curses for good behavior or bad behavior are announced. So that's what we're going to talk about. Verse 12. Eile yamdu, these shall stand, levarach es ha'am, when the process of blessing the people takes place, al har grizim on har grizim, pavarachem es hayardain, before the crossing of the Jordan. Shimon v'Levi v'Yehuda, v'Zachar v'Yosef v'Binyamin. Those six tribes, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, Yisachar, Yosef, and Binyamin. So what was the arrangement? Ki'eta b'Maseches Sota. So Rashi refers us to the tractate Sota in the Talmud. So this is the way it worked. Shisha Shvatim alu l'rosh har grizim. 6 tribes ascended to the summit of Har Grizim. V'shisha l'rosh har Eval, and 6 to the summit of Har Eval. V'kohanim v'Levim, the priests and the Levites, v'Aaron and the Ark of the Covenant, l'mata be'emsa, was in the valley between them. Hafchu Levim penehem klape Har Grizim ufaschu v'vracha. The Levites turned their faces towards Har Grizim, the mountain of Grizim, and they began the blessing. Baruch ha'esh asher lo yaseh fesel u'masecha. Blessed is the man who doesn't make any sort of graven, molten image, any sort of idol. Ve'elu ve'elu onu amen. And everybody responds, amen. Chazru v'hafchu v'neim klape Har Eval. And then they turned their face to Har Eval. Ufhasu v'klala v'omrim, and they started the curses, saying, Arah ish asher yaseh fesel, and curses the man who does make some sort of idol. V'chein kulam, and this went through all the list of blessings and curses, ad arah asher lo yakim, to reach the very last one, which we'll look at the end of this little presentation. Curses the person who does not observe all of the mitzvot. So a few curses now to look at, the Rashi comments on. Verse 16. Arur makle aviv imo v'amar kol amamein. Curses the person who is makle, not sure what that means. Makle, his father and his mother, and all the people responded, Amen. Says Rashi, Mazalzel, treats contemptuously. Lashon nikla achicha. There's another verse which talks about making your brother despicable in your eyes or in his reputation. You're not allowed to treat your parents with contempt. Next verse. Orum masig gvul reyeh, who you can't move the boundary marker of your friend, your neighbour in the field to chap their land. V'amar kol ha'am amen. Everyone responded amen. Says Rashi, machziro lacha rav v'gonev es hakarka, to move the boundary marker backwards and therefore to steal the land. L'shad husag achor. There's another verse which talks about being turned backwards. You're forcing the boundary back, so there's less of his land and more of your land. Verse 18. Aror mashke iver baderech, curses the person who misleads the blind person when they're on a journey. V'amar kol ha'am amen, and the whole people responded amen. So asuma b'davar, not necessarily, not exclusively, somebody who is literally blind, but somebody who is blind in a particular matter, who is ill-informed in a particular matter. Umasio eitzarai, you give him bad advice. So somebody who knows nothing about cars, you say, shall I buy this one or that one, and you knowingly give him bad advice, also known as lifnei iver, lo siten mechshel, don't place a stumbling block in front of the blind. That is curse. Somebody who gives bad advice to somebody who doesn't know better. Verse 24. Aro make reehu b'seis saser, curses the person who hits his friend in secret. How do you hit somebody secretly? We will find out. Va'amar kol am amen, and the whole people responded amen. What does this refer to? Al lashon hara. This refers to slander. Hu amer. That's what it's talking about. Raisi bisodo shel Rabbi Moshe Darshan, and then he quotes a work by Rabbi Moshe Hadarshan, Moshe the preacher, who crops up a few times in Rashi. Yud Aleph Arurim. There are 11 curses. Sorry. Yesh kan keneged Yud Aleph Shvatim. These correspond to the 11 tribes. Say you, but there are really 12 tribes. Ucheneged Shimon locus of Arur. There's no curse corresponding to the tribe of Shimon. Why? Lefisha lo haya bilibo Levaracho lefi moso kasher beirach shashvatim, because Moses didn't give a special blessing to Shimon. Also lechach lo ratzah lekalalo, he doesn't give him a special curse either. Shimon is left alone; he is neither blessed nor cursed. And finally, Arur asher yakim es divrei hatorah azos lasososam, as we saw sort of foreshadowed in Rashi's comment on verse 12. Cursed is the person who does not uphold the words of this Torah to perform them. V'amar kol ha'am amen, and the whole people responded amen. Says Rashi, kan klal es kol haTorah kula. This includes the entire Torah. V'kiblua aleihem ba'ala v'shua, and everyone accepted this curse like an oath. Everyone promised that they would be obedient to the Torah and accept upon themselves a curse if they did not do so. Everyone, Shabbat Shalom. I'll be with you at 4:35 on Facebook to do Kabbalat Shabbat, a little Devar Torah. Looking forward to that. Everyone have an Erev Shabbat Shalom.